Do 10 minutes. What am I doing for 10 minutes? I'll tell you, Phil's back up. 2 cents. That's a real funny one. Oh no, it's gone. That's still going down. What's that doing? Atlas still going down. Polar still going down. Oh, I mean, that's... Should have sold up there, shouldn't I? Yeah, 45k. Oh, that was a bad choice. That done on. Well, you know what we could do? I've got a good picture for that one. Let's have a look. I know what it is. That one.
Searching for your rose. So
That looks alright, I like it. Not bad, I like it. Welcome to everyone joining in. Wonder if I can get myself a coffee before I get cracking. Morning, Porter. Got a bit of music on the stream just while we're chilling out, setting up. Actually don't know how Audius is going to work for copyright and that.
Hello.
Morning. Is that Avid Learner? Morning, mate.
Morning, sir. Is the stream just starting?
Just waiting for the people to fire up. Sorry, I'm just having a bit of a play around, honestly.
That's nice.
Just working out, I need to get some NFTs. I need to make some NFTs for some grape stuff. And if I stick them on that, because I put this on stream just about all the time.
This is 2 a.m. here, actually.
Oh yeah, that's the hard thing, is it's not a real great time for time zone for European and even for Africa, in that it's quite a nasty time zone.
Yeah. Dog, have you heard about 3D Gamers Guild?
There's so many guilds coming out. I haven't followed a lot of them, but yes, it is a bigger one.
Are you in contact with them?
No, at the moment we've got. Sorry, it's just because I got pushed to talk and on the different screens. No, personally not at the moment. Am I talking with them? Just we've got. There's another one, Metapreme. I've heard of. We're chatting with another one called. Oh, blimey, what's the name of them? There's a lot. A lot of them are coming into to talk to Grape and that, but no, 3D is meant to be one of the bigger ones though.
I know Metaprime. I joined very early, in the first day. I'm in talks with them already regarding like partnerships with Grape and stuff.
Yeah, that's right. That's the thing with them. They'll be looking for partnerships through Grape, and it's good. There's just so many guilds building out in the space at the moment, isn't there?
Yeah.
Everyone's kind of trying to get into that space, aren't they? Get into the management of people and that kind of thing. Because the earlier they get in, it's going to be a bit easier for them.
Yeah, 100%.
Fish fact. Sorry, I'm just answering a question on YouTube at the same time. Fish facts. 9 NFTs and started getting mystery boxes. What are my odds of getting a level 1 gem versus GST? Higher chance.
I'm looking to join the DAO. I just upgraded to class A. I don't know where I can apply.
There's application. If you look, I'd have to find after. Just double check, even if you send me a message, and we'll get that after. There is a form in there. It's in the Grape. It's not too hard to find. It'll be down in the DAO section.
Okay, I'll do that.
Do. Who's first? KnifeForkSpoon. Morning, happy man. Good morning.
How you going, man?
Good, dude. I haven't actually welcomed everyone along to the stage yet. I've just kind of setting up the screens and the multiple things. Have you got something for us? Have you got some screen share or some camera? How are you looking? It should be your evening, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it is. I don't really have anything to show that I can show quite yet.
What about Spoonverse? Even if you have some YouTube streaming in the background, or I could put one of you, direct me to a good YouTube, and I can put that in the background. Because I know you guys are putting all of your dinner parties. Is it Twitch that you're streaming them to?
Yeah, we stream it on Twitch. The thing about like the Spoonverse is we have a lot of stuff that we're planning a big launch for, like a reveal.
Well, I guess let me do
to spoil it.
Let me do a quick introduction to stage. So today we've got 3 guests joining us. Great Gaming Day. This is every week we're doing this, and we've had all of these guests on stage here before at Grape, done various AMAs or spent some time with me, and I've been following all the projects. And this is going to be a bit of an aim for us going forward, is having these projects backwards and forwards, getting them on stage more often than, one AMA, kick them out the door and get them to go and build their project. So the 3 games we have joining us today will be KnifeForkSpoon, we've got Cry, and then we've got Sovana at the end. So we get them on 30 minutes each. It's live to YouTube, live to Discord. We are limited via numbers in Discord by having the screen share. And the intention is some of these weeks we're going to have games playing. Later on, I think Cry is going to be showing us his SDK and showing us the utility and how that works. And then Sovana, no doubt, we're going to go running around in their metaverse they've got. So it's something that I think, everybody knows I'm passionate for Solana gaming. I love some of these projects and the energy they bring. we're not always right in the things that we are bringing along. I definitely know that there's a lot of space problems in the space where we've got project building and offering a whole lot of things, but the aim is to get these projects backwards and forwards that I kind of think have a better chance. And today we've got 3 of those. So it's Cry. People still don't know, and I keep saying they don't know about them, but they're bringing something. They're going to put it open source, which is actually going to help a lot of these NFT projects find utility within games like possibly KnifeForkSpoon or even Sovana in their metaverse. But I've got a link here. Let me go and find that link. First up for today, we've got Knife Fork Spoons. That's Happy Man joining me. Something's gone wrong with that link, Mr. Happy Man.
Oh, hang on. Give me a second.
Just link it in live questions if you can, because it doesn't hurt to go into live questions.
Yeah. So, you could probably just type it in, to be honest. But
yeah, dude. Yep. What do you got for me?
If that doesn't work, if that link I just sent you doesn't work, then I'll just typing it. But that's our YouTube channel. That's gonna have some videos for you. It's got our lore. It's got our first mini game that came out, and it's got like the trailer and stuff. And then if you play any of the like dinner party highlights, it'll just it'll like play the dinner party as well as like the lore and the animated video that we have for our first game.
So for people, you can actually follow my YouTube. Let me get the link. I can link that in there too, which is awesome. So I'll copy that to YouTube as well. I'll put that in the background, dude. Like, oh, it's push to talk button. The old push to talk. Welcome along, man. Welcome along. We had you here. What was it? Christmas, just before Christmas, and you were building out your first. You were going for your first launch. You were just before your first launch. It was going to be the dinner party to start off with. And yeah. you guys joined us at Solana Gaming Saturdays. It was a horrific time for you, but the energy on stage was pretty fucking amazing, honestly. And I've kept business. I do actually need to chat to you later. Like, I think Wings team's cancelled, so I've got to find out how to stake. So that was pretty cool. I've still got my NFT. I'd love to restake it to a team and just see how you guys are going in the space. You've updated. I know you had some personal problems coming around Christmas and New Year's, but you guys are super building. So do you want to give us a quick welcome for stage and just talk to the people and introduce, give us a bit of a basic around who Knife Fork Spoon is?
Yeah, for sure. I guess I'll just start out with saying my name is Happy Man. I'm one of the founders of KFS, also known as Knife Fork Spoon. Most people have heard of us as KFS, not so much Knife Fork Spoon. They don't know what it sounds, what it means, but that's what it means if anybody's asking. What we're building is the Mario Party of Solana. So we're building a massive minigame platform where you can play multiple minigames, Mario Party-like minigames, in a play-to-earn concept. And this platform play these mini games, and they'll be able to play it within their own communities against other communities or participate in massive tournaments named the Solana Cup. In these play to earn mini games, we have 3 mini games coming out right away here in the Spoonverse. You're able to stake with any onboarded project to add utility to any project that exists in Solana today. And yeah, lots of exciting stuff coming up right away here within the next couple of weeks. We're planning on dropping some bombs into the spaces and unveiling what the first 6 projects are going to be, and the mini games that are coming with it. So some exciting things coming in the near future here.
So with how have you found the dinner parties to go at the moment? I watched the first 2 to 3 videos. They're energetic, you guys are having some fun. It's a bit more of it's just a gamified game at the moment. It's more about interactions with people, isn't it? It's having, talking to people, having a bit of a laugh, and just chewing the fat, really, isn't it, during those games, because they're kind of a pretty simple, basic animated game.
Yeah, so the main purpose behind the dinner party that we came out with was we wanted to be able to pay out our holders in a legal long-term way that wouldn't be like we wouldn't have any legal repercussions for, and people wouldn't necessarily have to show up and play the game actively. They could stake their NFT to a team and then make money passively through this mini game, as it's all automated and RNG rolled. The only work you have to do essentially is strategizing with the teams to be the winning teams at the dinner party. The reason we chose this to be our first game is we wanted to pay our holders immediately, and we wanted to make it so people didn't actually have to show up every day if they weren't able to. It's just an automated way, a legal way of paying out royalties for us through gaming. The next mini games that will be coming out, Bomb Squad and KnifeForkSpoon, are going to be more active. KnifeForkSpoon is going to be much close to the Mario Party like bumper ball style game. You're on an island, you got to dodge these KnifeForkSpoons flying around the island, and there's going to be like interactive, like you can hit people off the island and survive to win the rounds and move forward. And then Bomb Squad is going to be more you got to defuse a bomb by answering like Moon Boy questions to do with crypto.
So they're more gamified then. They're actually people playing the games a lot more. So I do like what you're talking about with your first one there, because we had a lot of trouble with projects last year, promising royalties and then taking back from the royalties and kind of saying, well, shit, we need to find a legal way where the SEC is not going to bury us. So that's cool. And the Golden Girls, they won the first 3, was it?
So Happy Men's Crusaders, which was a team that was named after me, won the first one, and our payout was 50 Sol.
Yeah.
That week, and then the second team to win, I believe, was like Golden Girls. There was like Golden Girls, Team Dorothy, Team Rose, and I think Team Rose won twice in a row for the next 2 weeks. So far, we've probably paid. God, I'd like to say. I don't know. I honestly don't even know how much money we've paid to this point, but probably well over $20,000 to our full holders so far.
Yeah, because it was 50 for the first one. I think 25 Solana for your second one, and then there was
35 for the second one, and then it was 20, and then we did 2 more rounds of 20, went down to 10, up to 35. It's just we pay out based on royalties, and then we're also going to be paying out based on income from the Spoonverse, as we'll be making residual income from that as well.
Yeah, and the residual income, so it's more than just royalties, because the Spoonverse is going to be other projects and stuff paying royalties towards you guys?
Yes. We have a few methods of onboarding projects. Mainly, the way it follows suit with these projects is they pay to be onboarded onto the Spoonverse. They have access to our play-to-earn games for their own community. They pay us for that service, and that's money from that service is cycled to KFS holders, as well as royalties from our secondary markets.
And then, so this is where you guys are like, you are in effect building a metaverse. It's not advertising the metaverse, which is fucking awesome. Like you're not using that highlighted word. But how many games are you onboarding at the moment? Have you managed to announce any that are joining up with the Spoonverse?
Like games or projects?
Both, I guess.
So we actually just released our beta for the Spoonverse this week. We have 6 projects that we're going to be onboarding, and there's going to be a total of 3 games for the Spoonverse that we'll be releasing with this. As soon as we're done with this beta testing with these projects, they're kind of playing the games within their own communities, testing it out, staking their own NFTs, staking other NFTs. We plan to do a massive marketing campaign on Twitter throughout these projects in order to drop a bomb across Twitter. We have multiple things planned to make this kind of shake Twitter up and get lots of people excited about it. Obviously, I can't talk too much about that because surprise is going to be the most important thing. But I can be pretty confident that once we announce what we're doing and who we're doing it with, it'll be quite a statement.
Good. Well done, man. Congratulations, first and foremost. It must be fucking hard building at the moment with so much noise around NFTs and hundreds of projects and all of these games and everyone promising something, but you guys are actually delivering at the moment. So you've got to be excited. That's a long slog from last year to now. and obviously you've been paying out 20 grand to your actual owners, and the NFTs sort of had up, down, but then there was a tipping point where they went above sort of 2-3 Solana, wasn't it?
Yeah. There's been our highest price for our NFTs has been 8. We hit 8 there for a while, and then obviously just like with the way the markets kind of go in crypto, you never know, it just kind of drops up and down. But we never really got the hype. We never really followed the hype. We just mainly focused on building and delivering. Our whole premise around our NFT was we're going to deliver before we ask for your money. So that's why we actually minted with our first mini game ready to pay out already at mint. And that was enough to have some serious long-term holders. I don't think we've ever had more than, I'd say 8%, 8 to 10% listed on the marketplace, and we just have a lot of people that really believe in us, and we're just kind of waiting to take off, really.
And it was, from memory, 1 Solana floor, wasn't it? Not floor, it was 1 Solana mint. Yeah.
We minted at 1 Solana, and yeah, they went pretty well. And then now we're going to be releasing the Spoonverse, and we have some plans for what we're going to be doing around that. I saw you noticed the Sporklights. That's going to be we have so many things coming with all of this, but the Sporklights is going to help with staking, with the passive income incoming from that, and a lot of these untied ends are going to be tied up into a nice little bow pretty quick here. So as soon as that happens, we plan on. I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen after that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so, I mean, talking through, a lot of it revolves around your Spoonverse and that coming out. But for people that want to join in now, like, what can people expect in the next 2 to 4 weeks before this kind of Spoonverse? Obviously, the announcement's coming, but it's still going to be the dinner parties. The fact that they can instantly purchase and then stake in the dinner parties in the teams. Do you want to talk a little bit about that then? So what do the gamers have to look forward to if they're joining up now? 2 Solana. Solana's $80, so it's still a very cheap entry when you think about it. We're still under that yearly Blizzard subscription.
Yeah. So what you can immediately expect is, you can stake your NFT to the Spoonverse, take part in the beta, as well as take part in the dinner party, which is our method of paying out our holders right now. And then that gives you access to our full Discord. We have a professional NFT alpha chat that is making our community loads of money in the last few weeks. And then we have a crypto setup chat, which allows people to just help people with the crypto markets and make their investments. We've had tons of people make an extraordinary amount of money from Mad Max's callouts. The man's a monster. He's posting all day, every day. He just doesn't eat or sleep anything other than crypto. And then you'll have access to some of the things that we'll be dropping in the future here with the Spoonverse. I can't get into it too much. These are kind of main surprises for shock value. But owning an NFT would get you access to anything being dropped in the near future here.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, and that's the thing, is we're not trying to push. I'd like to see you guys in a month after you're kind of doing these announcements. Like that's where I'm going to be able to have a bit of luck pulling games back. We're not having huge crowds here, but it all goes to YouTube at the same time. We've got 5 or 6 watching in there, and I know 100 or 200 people watch it afterwards. So it's kind of a space I'm building out at the same time. But I'm just trying to load up your website at the moment for the staking. You can see me on screen. I've put my screen share and Discord at the same time. I like it. So 3 games, six projects and 3 games. So is that going to be? Are you familiar with DeFi Land? How they've got the mini games within there? Sort of. Is it going to be mini games like that, or is it going to be kind of semi-immersive games?
It's going to be a mixture of both. What our main focus is going to be, like, we're going to be doing anything from like Jackbox, if you know that, to like Mario Party. So these games can range anywhere. We can pump them out quite quickly here, and it's just we're not really discriminating against any particular game style. It's mainly what the community wants, and as long as we can tie it into a play-to-earn platform, then we'll be making these games and pumping them out. We have like added to our team recently as well. So since we've minted in December 16th, we'll be having 3 mini games here, and you guys can count on us just starting to pump them out rather quickly as we're expanding our team here around it as well.
I'm not trying to make the call of, were you guys, you were one of the first, at least say one of the first to actually pay out to holders?
We were yes. I think like when we built KFS, the main focus was like art and something unique around art.
Yeah.
Like to give you guys an idea, like Goblin Labs minted an 11,000, 12,000 collection for 3 Sol. They were probably the most innovative utility at the time, and what their utility was able to design your own NFT. There wasn't really anything about gaming or paying holders out or royalties or anything like that. Baroku Dragons was just kind of becoming a thing around that time when we started building. The main reason we started doing what we did is we just saw a bunch of rugs. It was a really bad time for Solana NFTs, and we wanted to make a change in the space and build trust in the community. And that's ultimately why we created the platform that we did, is it allows us to add utility to any NFT. For instance, there's a project that will be onboarding, and they are a recovered rug project. The keys were handed over to the community DAO. They took full control over their NFT, and they love the project so much that they're just building and they want to work on their own project, and we're onboarding them onto the Spoonverse to add more utility to the project.
Sorry, who was that again? Say that team again. I'm just I missed that. I was looking at other stuff.
I didn't say which NFT it was. I don't think they're listed right now.
I'm trying to think of the name of it now. I know, so that was where the main team stepped down and the DAO took over control and started running the NFT project, yeah?
Yeah.
So it is a big prominent one. People would know it later if they have a think about it. So is that considered a rug? Let's be honest. Is that considered the team rugging? So I guess it's hard for you in a situation, right? You don't want to, you definitely don't want comeback on that, but that is the team walking away from it. And even still, if it's the one I'm thinking of, they didn't even give the DAO full control of the treasury. They just said you may earn some of the royalties.
No, with this particular project, they did relinquish all control. I think I know which one you're talking about, and that's not the one I'm talking about.
Awesome. I love the code language there. That's good.
I do know, because I think we've talked about that one as well. But with the one I'm talking about, they basically told the devs like, hey, you guys aren't doing anything, and we haven't heard from you in a while. The lead developer came back from a vacation and said, what the hell is all this? And the community was like, announced, actually, one of the community leaders had control over their Twitter. They announced on Twitter that it's a rug, but they don't want it to be. So they created their own Discord, went over there, created a coup, essentially, to like save this NFT. And then the devs were like, okay, well, if you guys want this NFT to make it so bad, like, here you go, take the keys. We're walking away. Like, it's fully yours. And since then, the community's done really well. I'm in contact with the new community lead now. He's a solid dude, very caring, charismatic person that just loves the project. And the only reason I'm not specifying what it is
you'll have other announcements, won't you? You're going to use that in your own kind of time and media and to announce it to your own community.
Exactly. Yeah. Our community probably does know the community that I'm talking about, as them and I have done some things in the past, and we've really worked together pretty well. But it's an exciting release, to be honest.
Good. No, I appreciate it. It's good, like. This is where, and when we talk to Sovana, we'll go down that track, is there's shitloads of NFT projects out there, and my opinion is 90 to 95% of it's not going to make it. So you've got to be very careful with where you put your money. You know, does that mean there's not money to be made in the process? Of course, there's buy flip mentality, and it's problematic for the games building out, because the genuine games that are building out and not hyping out and not doing the rarity flip structures are suffering, because you've got the degenerates that want the artworks to find that special epic earring that gives them plus 0.1% chance to do whatever. And that flip mentality hurt the games that are building out. But it's really cool to see some projects are succeeding off of the hype and the community alone. They're finding certain people within the community are becoming in love with the project, the game, the team, and doing something with it. I'm looking at Wing's team here. That my boy hasn't let me down. I thought the team had maybe closed up, but we're still going. Team Wing NFTs.
Yeah, Wing NFT has struggled. I don't think they've won quite yet. As you can see there, I believe if they had wins, it would come under the stats there on the website. But big fans of Wing NFT team. I really like the community, and they're like from Solana Peach Club.
Yeah, the Peach Club, and he's got his own Discord and stuff. But he's an Aussie, so I've actually had a beer and steak with Wing last year in Perth.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and we've got him on stage. He's coming on to a Solana Gaming Saturday in a week and a half times. We're actually going to play a bit of gameplay while we're on stage, just talking about Magic Eden. So he's working with Magic Eden now full time. So he was a primary school teacher and went full time in the space this year. So it's an amazing story to follow, and he's just generally a good dude in the space.
Yeah, they're all really good. Bellicasaur, Wing NFT team, like all those Frankie. They're all solid dudes. So I really like all of them, and we get along really well. So
it's because us Aussies are good dudes, see?
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
But yeah, Belkazor, he's in. I believe he's in Bali these days, but obviously heavy in the in the Solana NFT space and in the communities. Those guys work really hard at helping their community get in early, get into the projects, and as to at least. This is the benefit. You could stake it and walk away from the game and know that at least it's helping that team. But there could be a prize, there could not be a prize. But yeah, so with the new Spoonverse, are we able to stay staked with the dinner parties, and then we're going to be able to use that in the other games and actually start playing something?
Yeah, so the unique thing about the Spoonverse, I think a lot of people are going to be excited about for any of these NFTs, if you own any of them, is it's non-escrow, is you're going to be able to stake to our games, play our games, and you're going to still own your NFT. So if your own project has something unique that it's paying out holders, let's say you're staking with Honey or something like that, you're actually going to be able to do both. So that's a huge benefit with us as well, is we're not really taking away. Staking with us isn't going to take anything away from your own project's benefit through utility.
Yeah, I like non-escrow. And does that mean, was that an alpha drop for us, that you're going to start staking and giving us some P honey?
No, that's we have something for ourselves that we have planned. We've been building around it and slowly releasing things around that specific utility for a while. The Sporkolite, and then we have the baby Sporkolite, or baby Spork I should say, that we released. Is not on secondary market. It's not really a tradable NFT, but you did see the Sporkolite there, which is that collection that's sitting at about 3 SOL. We did release those with intention of the utility that will be dropping in the near future here as well. So we've just been getting
so that's the little one I've got there on screen. That was just an airdrop, wasn't it? For
yes,
we owned our NFTs.
That was an airdrop when we actually made our first oopsie, and we are one of our developers that runs the dinner party had to step away. He had to leave, and wasn't able to actually run it, an emergency or something of that sort. And we had another founder named Tokenaut running the dinner party. Yep. Well, Tokenaut couldn't really push a button effectively, and the whole dinner party crashed and something went wrong. So to apologize to our community for that, we airdropped this baby Sporkolite, which is going to be an added utility on top of the Sporkolite that we have already airdropped. So the baby Sporkolite was more of a, like, we're sorry we messed up to our community. They were more, the reason we did it was our community was more than understanding. Everybody was super nice about it, and sort of just...
All that was you missed one dinner party one week, and you put the funds towards the following week, and you just did a bigger drop the next week, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We, I always want to encourage like good behavior and people being good people. So when our community was just like so outstanding and understanding that when we messed up the one dinner party there and moved it to the next week, we wanted to reward people for not complaining about it or anything like that, because I think that's a sort of behavior that people should be rewarded for.
Yeah, I remember saying it at the time, and it wasn't anything big. And I mean, shit, you just put the bunny in the following week, so it wasn't. The games are in beta, the games are building out, so definitely shouldn't be calling for put their heads on the chopping block. The old what was that? The not Nicky Keys. What was the movie? Adam Sandler, chop his fucking head off. There was none of that kind of stuff.
Bite his fucking head off. Yeah, from Little Nicky.
That's
when he's
the one,
fighting,
Little Nicky. Yeah.
Ozzy Osbourne gives him the orb, and he's fighting his devil brother and turns him into a bat or some shit. Yeah, I remember that movie. That was one of my favorites.
Yeah, I mean, the kids are old enough at the stage, they're 10 and 7, so we're going through some of those series. Obviously, some are a little bit different. You can't really get them through all the Adam Sandler movies, but yeah. So I love it, dude. And I guess I don't ask the basic questions along the way, but what have you found? What have you found hardest in building in this space? Now, you guys aren't new project coming out. You're building. You're actually holding, and you're building out and continuing the next phases of your projects, and you are actually nailing some of these things. So, what have you found as challenges along the way?
I guess to take it in a personal turn is essentially kind of like what I guess like life outside of NFTs goes on.
Yeah.
Life outside of Discord and Solana continues to go through it. Probably my own personal biggest challenge through building this space continuously is I lost a family member in December. My dad passed away, and it was right after our mint, and I just had to work through it. The whole team has worked through things. We've all had things going on in our life, and our dedication to our community and like our community members has made us push through every single obstacle that we've had. And I'd say that's probably the biggest difficulty, is sometimes the space doesn't necessarily recognize the sacrifice, but our community always does. So they really keep us in check and keep us motivated to keep working and building for them and delivering to them every single day, because we know they deserve it, and we want to reward them for that. So.
Yeah, dude, and I mean, I obviously knew about that. I've followed the space and said my own condolences for that. I mean, but mental health, like life does go on. Crypto, work, NFTs, there's more to life than just that. It's super important, and it was good that your community got behind you. And, life has to go on. It's more about just zeros and ones. And how have you found the space since you've kind of recognised and you emotionally not moved on, but you'd be coping now, wouldn't you? You're back in and working hard.
Yeah. I've still been like, I announced to the community that I'm just going to be less active in chats and so on, but I've still been working on the Spoonverse. We're still getting everything ready on that. I just haven't been the happy man that everybody looks forward to every day, coming in chat and talking to people for 24 hours a day. I really had to take a step away from that part of it, but everybody's been super understanding, super nice about it, and talking to me, sending out their love every day, and it's meant a lot. So it keeps me grounded, keeps me moving forward, and we're all happy to work for these people that we have in the community.
Well, we're at a half hour, my man. Give us a bit of a wrap up. What are you actually looking forward to in the next month? So personally, or in game, in another game, what's the next month bringing that excites you a little bit?
We're going to be completely revolutionizing KFS essentially with the Spoonverse. Where when we drop the Spoonverse, the amount of the things that we're going to be dropping one after another is going to be blowing people away, and it's going to be a lot. There's a lot of utility that's going to be coming. There's a lot of rewards for our holders that'll be coming. And from that, we expect a lot of attention from the entire Solana space. And we expect our floor to rise significantly because of it as well, which will just everything's going to kind of follow suit. It's going to snowball, and we're going to be able to pay our holders even more than we have previously. So
Yeah, well, like
Super exciting stuff.
you did say there was the royalties coming in from other projects that are going to be able to then go towards your games, be those payments that that play to earn. I mean, but it's not even really play to earn, is it? Because it's through staking. But the next two games you were saying are going to have those gaming elements.
Yeah, so any profits from the Spoonverse is being cycled into our prize pool. I guess I can say is like we have some things planned for the future here. We've had a couple we actually had a VC approach us for a meeting because they've just been so interested in what we're doing, and some of that stuff is going to be coming out in the near future here with some of the things we'll be releasing over the next month. So we've kind of stayed pretty hush hush about all this stuff. Not so much. We're just really not looking for hype right now. We want to reward the people that get in for the value that they see in the project. And as soon as we start dropping everything, the hype is going to come, and it's going to reward all the people who believed in us from the beginning. And that's what we're excited about. I think the most is rewarding the dedicated people that have stood by us the entire time.
It's definitely. I've always loved artwork, man. I love the energy you had in the system, and again, apologies and not apologies, but condolences and that. I know you've kind of got a pair of sneakers recently, and we've been chatting about that. So it's good that you're actually getting out and burning off energy. That helps get those endorphins running and the body pumping.
Yeah, I'll be going for a run this evening, actually.
That's good. That's
Right
good.
after this.
You still at one pair, or are you boosting up to three?
I'm still at one pair. Yeah, I right now I got in a car accident, so I'm trying to prepare for that. It can't be fixed for about 6 months. The parts importing because of the war is going kind of weird right now, so I might just have to buy a vehicle here pretty quick or figure something out. So I've been not investing in NFTs too much recently.
No, that's cool, man. And I mean, I'm just flicking through some of your knives, forks, and spoons at the moment. So I've always loved the artwork you guys did with the NFTs. They were pretty basic, but they were good. That was the like you've got your I can't think of the Spider-Man. Who was he?
Oh, the Octo Arms?
Yeah, Octo Arms. That's it.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. Octo Arms, and then the kimono from Inuyasha, if you're an anime fan, was definitely one of my favorites there. You can see it on the right side with the spear and the net guy with the green background. That like little kimono is one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's cool, dude. Well, I definitely want to get you back at some stage, find out about this Spoonverse. I'm glad Wing's still going with his team, and for people looking into it, and it's not financial advice. I'm not here to sort of say NFT floor prices. That doesn't really. That's not what I'm in gaming for and Solana gaming for. You're going to find projects along the way, and you're going to make money if you actually watch the space. There's money's always going to be able to be made. Just don't do degenerate plays. But to Solana to get into a community that Solana at the moment's $82, so it's $160. So a lot of these projects that are minting out at the moment are launching for between 1 and 4 Solana, so it's still actually a low entry point. So we're seeing games like Remnants, for example. They've got a lot of things building out, but that's 20 Solana to get a Remnant. So this is 1/10 of that. So definitely something to look at, dude. And keen to see what's happening in the Spoonverse, and it was good to finally get you back on stage.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. And I guess I'll just leave it as if you guys have seen what's happening to the gods when they dropped all of their utility they're coming out with, I'd expect the same thing around KFS.
Yeah, and that's a good point there. Like it's not just a project that's been building. They've had the game, they've been paying out the game, but now they're coming into the utility stage. It's really interesting watching crypto, but both in crypto itself as in tokens and projects. But once utility comes out for those games, they skyrocket. So some of the projects and games that are building, I mean, I used Remnants as an example. That had a mini game from the start. So did KnifeForkSpoon. So they've been plugging away, but they've got a big Spoonverse coming out. You can see if I go back to the website, they've got 6 projects on there along with them, and 3 games dropping on the Spoonverse. So definitely keen, dude. Good luck, congratulations, and we'll keep in touch.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, man, and big fan of what you're doing, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. You have a great day.
You too. Ciao.
Cry. Where is my cry? Just give me a second for people in there. I'll put a video on while we're listening. He was on earlier, funnily enough. Cry was here. Oh, he's here. I'm seeing here. Sorry, Cry. I just jump in stage, my friend. If you're listening to YouTube, by the looks of it, maybe. Sorry, just give us a second. Next guest is definitely here. We're just getting him on stage. Let's use that. Priority speaker. All right, you should be able to find it now, Cry. You should be able to. There we go.
Hello.
Hey, dude. Sorry about that. It can be a little bit funny. There we go.
Yeah, actually. Okay.
Okay, so I'll do a quick how you doing. So Cry, they came out as Soul Cry, I believe, was the first way they introduced. We had them in stage, I believe it might have been November. It's a bit of a memory, bit of a haze. Building out an SDK for their own coin initially for gaming and Unity, a way of building out SDKs and getting Solana coins active within mini games or even games for mobile phones and things like that through Unity. And they've been powering away, working behind the scenes. They've done a lot of work with Gamerplex, I know, talking to John. So they're building something which they plan on putting open source and actually giving utility both in tokens and in NFTs. And today it's more of a support project, right? It's more of something that's going to help us in the system. So, yeah, do you want to welcome yourself to stage, Cry, and give us a bit of a how you doing on the project, who you are, and what you guys are building out?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it have been like 4 months working on this SDK, me and the team. We finally finished it. Actually, for who is maybe been asking what's this SDK, it's actually a library that will allow any game developer, especially Unity game developer, to interact with Solana blockchain or integrate, let's say, all the Solana feature on the game for desktop, Android, iOS, WebGL. So it's like the Web3 but for gaming. I mean, a C# version for gaming that it will allow any game developer to integrate Solana, Metaplex, NFT, and so on. So all the things that Solana have, it will be present in this SDK. We actually have submitted a request to Unity Asset Store and just we are waiting for the approval, and after that we will share a link for it.
So what does that
yeah.
entail? Just talk a little bit on that, Cry. So you've applied for Unity SDK links. So just break that down for people that have no idea. And I'm one of those. So you guys building these projects are a lot smarter than me. I'm just an old gamer. I bring you guys on stage. I want to play the games, all of that. Do you want to go a little bit more into detail what that means, or and once they approve that, what's that going to mean for the space?
Yeah, exactly. So imagine, okay, let's say all the games that have been developed now, they are just, you can play them in the browser. There is no game that exists on Android, let's say, or iPhone or desktop, okay, that interact with the Solana blockchain for now, because they have what we call Solana Web3, which is a library that allow developer to interact with Solana API, but just using, let's say, web language like JavaScript, TypeScript, and so on. This SDK is, we can call it as a wrapper for Solana inside Unity. So it's actually an integration of Solana inside Unity. So any game developer, he will just use it as he's using Unity languages. You see, as he's developing a game, he will just like have this simple functionality to integrate Solana in his game logic, and he will be interacting with it. So this is what we mean by SDK. So it's just a Solana library for Unity. I mean, I can share my screen and show you maybe some features or how it
Absolutely,
will be
my
working.
friend. Chuck it on and I will
Yeah.
put that on stream.
Yeah, so, okay, let me share my screen.
I noticed you guys, you had an announcement, it might have been in Discord this week regarding your NFTs as well. We'll get into that a little bit later on.
Yeah.
Because it's been a
So,
while.
okay.
Like, let me bring up the screen share for everyone though.
Okay. For example, if we go to SolScan and we see, okay, let's start with an NFT example. Okay, so we have like, I don't know, just we pick up some NFTs from here. Normally, people, what they wanted to do. So this NFT, it should be inside a wallet. And when the user will be connecting their wallet inside the game, they wanted to check, for example, or to parse the NFT to get the metadata of this NFT, okay? So this is the metadata that they will be looking for it. So it's, which is a metaplex metadata stored on the blockchain. And we have another kind of metadata, which is called URI metadata. So two kind of metadata. Here inside Unity,
I'm
yes?
still just loading yours up. Just give us 1 second.
Sure. Maybe, okay, I'll stop and seems, okay, I'll share again. I think it's running now.
Yeah, I'm just having a look, just trying to load her up.
Okay, you can see Google, now you can see Unity?
Yes, yeah, I can see your crystal, hide. All right, that's better.
Okay, nice. So let me just get back here in SolScan. We have this kind of NFT. As I said, developer will be looking, I mean, giving this mint address, this token address, they will be looking for this like metadata, okay? They wanted to parse it and see it inside the game so they can use it later on with the game logic. So the good thing is, I mean, we have made like an example scene in here. It's like just, you see, so this one, it can be built inside a game, but it's just a functionality using the Solana SDK inside Unity. Giving any wallet address, we can extract all the NFT inside this wallet address. So for example, let's just pick up an address from here. Let's go to holders and see this holder. It seems that he have like 6 NFT. We'll copy his address and we will check it. Check what he have as NFT. So there is this button called parse collectibles. Okay. So here we can see that he have, okay, 4, 5. Actually, they are just 5 NFT. The other one, it's a normal SPL token. And since we'll be parsing just the NFT one, as we can see, for example, in here, okay, here, yeah, we made a small change. We cannot see the metadata, but not all the metadata, but as we can see here, for example, we see the name of the collection, some kind of the description, and the image itself. Maybe a question. So, okay, you parse this NFT, what you will be doing next? Because if you
I
are
do
doing
just
the
have
other
one crowd question. Sorry to pause you there, Cry. Is the SDK using web underneath, or is it calling Rust in an unmanaged environment?
Yeah, exactly. It's calling Rust. It's not using the web, because if it's using the web, it will not be working for Android and iOS or desktop. Maybe desktop, yes, but I'm pretty sure for Android and iOS, no. So it's directly interacting with Rust, which is the code source or the core source of Solana. And even this SDK provide like more function more than the Web3 version. Because if you, any one of you, if he can go to this, the documentation of Solana, which is in Grape.io, and he just pick up the documentation from here, you will see a lot of things or a lot of modules and function that doesn't exist in Solana Web3. The same thing happened for Solana client, which is the RPC client, let's say. So if you go search for the Solana client, this one, and for documentation, especially that one, yeah, you see there is, I don't know, maybe 100 function. Not all of them does exist in the Web3 version, but in our version, they does exist. And I can show you like some, let me open the project and I'll show you, no, it's not that. Actually, okay, anyway, there is something with VS Code that's not set up, but anyway, I'll show you maybe some script. Sorry, it should be in plugin. Yeah, you see that we have Android, we have Linux, Mac OS, and Windows. For now, we don't support iOS, but it will be in the next release. We will come to that later on. If we can see, for example, the client, we have our RPC client, and I'll open it in here. And you can see, for example, we have like this namespace, which is the all Solana namespace, account decoder, hash, messages, RPC response, signature, and so on. And these, all the functions in here. So it's like we have 2000 line of code of all the function. So yeah. We have also something, okay, so this is for the NFT. We show that we have a Metaplex module here that it will allow you to parse NFT, get the metadata, URI metadata, Metaplex metadata, and so on. We also have some other scene that I'll show you in the example scene. Okay, fetch wallet, we already have seen that. Yeah, for the SPL token, exactly. So most of people, when they wanted to create a new token, they use Solana CLI. So Solana CLI, I mean, which is a command line interface, but with the SDK, you can create a new mint or a new token, or create associated token account, a transfer like tokens, transfer SOL, request some airdrop, close account. I mean, all what we call the token, SPL token program instruction. Maybe you can look for this link, I mean, in the documentation. It's called SPL token program for Solana in the doc, yeah. And you will see like a lot of instruction as well as the documentation. So yeah, they normally use this like SPL token CLI, but inside the SDK you can create some mint. So for example, now we will create a new mint. We will mint it, and maybe we can make some transfer. So if I hit this button, create mint, what it will output to us, it will output, we will have a message for, yeah, you see this message, creating a new SPL token, we have the mint, which is the address, and we have of actually, because when creating a mint, the create mint, it's an instruction, and behind the scene, it will send a new transaction to the Solana nodes, so it will process it. So if we look to this, let's say, signature in SolScan, we have to be sure that we are in DevNet, not in mainnet. So we look into this. Yeah. So this is the signature. It happened like 1 minute ago. This is the signer public key, which is my wallet in mainnet. And when we see the instruction details, we can see which it will create first an account, and after that it will make initialize mint instruction. Okay, so yeah, I mean, you can see that it happened. We can also, I don't know, we have mint to, yeah, it doesn't exist in this example, but in the code. But what we can do, we can make an SPL transfer. What it does, SPL transfer, if you have like some token in your account and you wanted to transfer them to a new account, it will does that. So maybe we can test it. Actually, there is like 5 or 6 transactions that will happen. If anyone interested to see the code, maybe I can share it here while we are waiting.
Gone off.
So
we did have a question here from God's Love. God's, I know your microphone will work here now. Did you want to ask that question direct? So, I mean, I can ask it. Otherwise, just you're quite welcome to.
Yeah, sure.
Can you hear me?
Perfect, dude. Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, Gray. Nice to talk to you. Thanks for coming on and giving us this information. So in Metaplex, and one of the things that they support is NFTs, and I saw that you had a support for that. But they also have non-fungible assets and a couple of other data types. Do you plan to add support for them, or is there like a way where you're going to make it available for developers to extend it?
Yeah, actually, you are talking about, like, for example, if we have an image or let's say 3D model, MP4, audio, is that right?
Yeah. Like, for example, if you go to the Metaplex's website, right, and then it says, what kind of token can you make? And over there, the general token that's available right now is NFTs, like the non-fungible tokens. And you had an example of, pulling the data from there. But on Metaplex's website, there are other kind of items you can make too. Like one of them is called non-fungible assets, right? Which people use for whitelist tokens as a common example. Is that something you guys are planning to support too? If you're
Actually,
not, then would you make that
yeah.
available to?
Actually,
Go ahead.
yeah, because actually, this thing we plan to talk later, but yeah, I'll answer you. So exactly. So for now, I mean, these tools, it will allow you to just pull the metadata of any NFT, of any non-fungible token, okay? Whatever, it's a 3D model, MP4, and whatever, okay? There is also a new tool that we are working on it, still in test phase, which it will be like, you see now, for example, we have this SDK, which is just for Solana. We will release a new SDK for Metaplex. So it will have all Metaplex feature. Even in the Unity
Perfect.
editor,
Awesome.
yeah, we can select, let's say, a material you have, an asset in Unity. You can mint it directly in the Unity editor. So it's a new tool that we will release. I don't know when exactly, but it's like in progress right now. So yeah, it will be supported for sure.
Hey, can I follow up with a second question, unrelated? So these other libraries that you're using, which is Solana Program SPL token, are those like libraries that you've written, or is that from some other space?
No, actually, these are the one that we developed. So if you see the project structure in here, what we have this script. You see account decoder, tip 39, client, hash, instruction. So actually, this is all the Solana module that we ported from Rust to C Sharp. Okay, so they
Awesome,
are
awesome.
our own, yeah, module. So I mean, you see this one, it cover all Solana feature. So it's like a Solana library, but inside Unity with the same API naming, the same convention, same everything. So if you have like experience with Solana, Solana for Rust or GS, using it for Unity, it will be the same thing. I mean, it will
Perfect.
be the
Yeah,
same.
this is super cool. This is very impressive. I'm super impressed. Good job, guys.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
So
So yeah, I
we've
think
got about 10 minutes left, Cry, and it's hard because there's so much to talk about. But
yeah.
what's the process behind? So what you're building out here with the SDKs and all of that, this isn't a project for you guys to actually get out and make millions of dollars. It's something that you want to actually bring and you want to open source and give the community of Solana. So what's, I guess it's a two-pronged question. Is, for starters, why do you want to do something like this? Why are you going in that? Is it genuinely enjoying it and giving back to the community? And then what is the next stage for you guys with your own project? How does that tie into what you're building?
Actually, to be honest with you, we planned as first to make it open source, but I mean, what happened next when we are working, there isn't much support from the space. This is the key thing. So it's like even our community. I mean, in Discord, it's like 200. I mean, I'm pretty sure you are aware of that.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean,
You have got a very small following, but this is the problem,
yeah,
isn't it? And we talked about it earlier. There's no
yeah.
utility to owning an NFT, or it's a very small tech community. I see what you're building. Grom's tried to do it as well. Teaching Rust and taking a different utility community, and it was super difficult for them as well. So yeah, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, so there is a part that will be open source for sure, and the other part will be paid in the asset store. Because if we wanted to keep going this project, keep supporting it, keep like updating it, because as you see, Solana is exploding. Every day there is new thing that is coming. Every day there is some change. There is a lot of update. So in order to keep, supporting this project, what we decided is there is the basic, or let's say the core part will be open source, and some, let's say, extra features or something like that, it will be paid. So it will keep us like live. Okay, so yeah, alive. At least we can continue to working on that. But the open source part, it will allow any developer to develop his game. He will have everything he need in the open source part. So yeah, but the extra part, it will be paid. For example, like the Metaplex tools and everything, it will be paid. So this is the plan, hopefully.
And then I don't want to tie something like this into an NFT, but you are going to be doing an NFT launch. So the problem is you've got such low numbers in the Discord. A lot of people don't know about what you're bringing out to the games, the Unity and the SDK packs and that. So do you work directly with other games very often? Obviously, I know you've been working with John at Gamerplex. Have you had any success with other games, helping them get started and building out their own game structures?
Actually, we are like working with John, so Gamerplex. They have a lot of games, so we are making progress. It's like a slow progress, not that much, since every team have a lot of work to do. But lately, we have made some progress, especially when we finished the SDK. And after that, we will bring our own game for Android and iOS. This is the plan. So since we have also like written a very cool documentation for the SDK, it will be live online on our website, and a lot of example in it, so people can use it without any problem, and it will help them to integrate it with their game, so without like any extra support. It's just for them. And regarding the NFT, I just wanted to show you, some like new samples maybe for the people so they can see. So yeah, yeah, this is like the final collection, or just some sample from the final collection. That one, this like butterfly girls. This one, I don't know what I can call her. This like Squid Game girl or player. I don't know what it is, but yeah. So it's like I like her. I mean, this kind of like sample. So it's like just 7 sample on this one. So yeah, we will be launching our NFT hopefully next week, and we are more start working on the mint process.
Yeah, so with the NFT launching next week, that's important, I guess, to touch on a little bit. Have you got a price there you're thinking of? Solana seems to be sitting between 80 and 100, so that's a stable enough figure to base around that.
Yeah, actually, I mean, about the price, to be honest, it will be like not much price because it's for the community, and the plan was to use this NFTs as a profile picture for our coming game. So we will try to make it, I mean, as let's say a fair price for everyone. We still haven't decided yet, but it will be a very fair price for everyone. So, yeah.
Yeah, the artwork itself is pretty unique, and obviously I've seen some of the samples from your Discord as well. So the game we've heard touch on the game. So how long until you're happy to the SDK work that you're building? You've applied for Unity now to accept it. So does that mean that you start working on the game now? Is that the next phase of your project?
Yeah, actually, we start preparing the game art and the game logic. We are just like writing some scenario on how the gameplay, the game logic will be, and we are talking with a bunch of a designer to see the artwork because we want it to be a specific artwork, a unique one. So yeah, we are in the process of like making some interview with designer and writing the game logic. So yeah, and hopefully after the NFT launch, I think we will have something, and maybe we will prepare some demo to show for the community. Yeah.
And what style game are you're trying to build this out as? Obviously, we've got baseline characters, but what's the genre of game?
Yeah, we are thinking to make it a multiplayer game where people can play with each other, like some teams or play against each other. But I mean, it's not enough clear because we have a lot of idea and we still don't know exactly what we wanted to do. You see, so we have a lot of gameplay and of idea.
What
Yeah, we're still thinking about.
what sort of games do you
Yeah.
like to play then, Cry? What are you personally? Are you MMORPGs? Do you like first person shooters? Do you like
To
uh
be honest, I'm not a gamer. I'm not a gamer person. Yeah, I'm not that. But I mean, yeah, first FPS game generally. FPS games,
Yeah,
first
it
person
seems to
shooter.
be quite a lot of FPS coming out. It seems to be something that you guys, because you're building it on your own client, and there's not a lot of transactions with the chain, and that it seems is one of the ones that are able to be built out quicker, isn't it? So, have you got a team?
Yeah.
Is there a dev team behind that, or this is where you're going to be looking at from your mint to potentially fund and pay for a dev team for that?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the revenue from the SDK as well as the NFT will be directly invested inside the game. We want it to be a big game, not just even we will cover the infrastructure because multiplayer game need like some infrastructure, server clusters, and so on. So it will be directly, I mean, invested in the game itself. We have like 2 designer, and we wanted to hire two more 3D modelers so for the game, and also 2 game developer, and I'm the third one. So actually we will build a team of 7 developer, let's say, in total.
I see Deebs in the crowd from Groms. Deebs, did you have any questions that you wanted to ask? I'm not too sure how familiar you are with Cry and how much of the conversation you've just seen.
Hey, I just now got here, so I was hoping to. I don't have a whole lot of background information at this point.
So Deebs is from Groms. For you to understand, you probably may not have heard of Groms Cry, but they've been building out an SDK for Unity Pack, and they've applied for that now for that to be accepted for games building it out, and then eventually they aim to build a game as well.
For are you talking about Cry?
Yes.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
So I got here just in time to see the reveal of the NFT artwork. I think that looks pretty amazing.
Thanks.
I dig it.
Yeah, a lot to be revealed, by the way. We will share like some new sample in the Twitter, hopefully soon.
We are closing up stage. Sorry, it's actually disappointing you're missing that, Dave. You have a bit more detail if you've been in, but that'll be on YouTube later on down the track. But so what have you got in the next 2 to 4 weeks then, Cry? What's happening for you? You've obviously you've applied for the Unity to accept that your SDK, but just talk about what's happening in the next 2 to 4 weeks for you guys.
Yeah, exactly. So the plan is to, since now the SDK just support Android, the plan is to, in the next release, we will support, let's say, from the first 2 weeks, we will support iOS. After that, we will add Serium instruction as well as swap instruction. So inside the game or inside Unity, you can send, some Serium order book. What we say, it's like you place some sell or buy order in the exchange to buy or sell your token, to buy or sell your NFTs, as well as you can swap your token, with the other token and so on. So this is what we will do. Plus, there is something going on, which is the Metaplex tools to mint NFT, to support the whole Metaplex program inside Unity. So this is, what the plan. And we have also, the game and the NFT, which is we are like currently working. So yeah, the game, it's like a huge thing to be coming. We will not cover it in the first 2 or 4 weeks, but at least let's say the NFT and the new SDK features. Yeah.
Oh, dude. Well, I know it's a tough market to mint in when you've kind of it's not an art project. I like the artwork for the NFTs, funnily enough. But it's not an artwork, it's more of a utility. It's going to be for a game. So it definitely needs to be a fair bit more information for the community before you go for that mint, I think, as to what it's going to be doing for. So definitely nut a bit of that out and give us a yell if you need a bit of our hand with that. But by all means,
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on stage, man. It's good to see that you've ploughed along. And I'm keen to see how that fits into Gamerplex and how that fits into theirs with the utility and getting the SDKs for their NFTs and that as well. Because they are building 4 games there, so it's something that they're super looking forward to doing as well.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for coming on, dude.
Thank you, and see you. Thanks.
Next on stage for everybody, we're going to have Sovana coming on stage. I'll get my push to talk button, gives me the shits. But we have Saigo in stage from Sovana, and they're building out. You can see I've got their Twitter on my screen. It's a metaverse, but they've got 60 to 80 partners. I'll get the number off of Saigo, and they've got a live MVP, which is a 2D platform. We can even chuck that on screen at the moment. I'll need to load in. But Saigo, welcome to stage. And do you want to introduce yourself and talk a little bit quickly about Sovana and give us a basic rundown of what Sovana is?
Yeah. Hey, it's nice to meet everyone. Thanks for having me. Admittedly, I'm not one of the 2 founders, so I'm a bit more small-brained when it comes to what we got at Sovana. But I've been out here trying to kind of help grow the ecosystem, and bring as many people together as we can. So Sovana right now, just to give kind of that 40,000-foot view, is a quote unquote 2D metaverse. I know the word metaverse kind of has a lot of connotations attached to it, and what does it really mean, and what is the metaverse and all that. But basically kind of the way we see ourselves is as I think I was talking to maybe it was Thug yesterday, and we kind of see ourselves as a community aggregator. So we're kind of trying to become this central hub, this social hub, and really focus on the social component of what a metaverse can mean. And then like kind of another way to think about it would be is a graphic user interface of Solana. So basically everything you can do in Solana. We want you to be able to do in Sovana. Obviously, it's going to take some time to get everything in there, but we're starting with communities, starting with kind of the basics. Getting people together and getting people to kind of see their NFTs or their communities come to life online in maybe more digestible manner than like say the Web 2 metaverses that we're all part of in Discord and Twitter and such. So I'll stop there at risk of not not stopping for another 5 to 10 minutes. So I don't know if you have any questions on top of that, or if there's anything I could clarify there.
No, I mean, obviously I know a fair bit about Sovana. I've been in the space for long enough. These guys have been building out. And yeah, Retri and Thug, we've had them here before. I've listened to plenty of spaces. You guys have done a mint. You've done airdrops of the mounts for those mints. The mint was successful. What was the total number? It was 10,000, wasn't it?
For the mints, or the for our eggs, where there was 5,645 mints, and along with that came about 5,645 mounts, broken down into three categories. There is the OG mounts for our OG kind of egg holders. Those are identified by the OG trait. Then there was another, I believe, something like 1,200 for the first 1,200 who minted after the OG mounts, and then there were these kind of like they're called fast hand mounts. They look kind of like a hand. And then the last batch was maybe something like 2,000. They kind of look like Tron bikes, SVA bikes. And then we have a couple of like small supply. Like we have a hoverboard and a cloud mount, but they're like 15 to 20 per. So those were much smaller collection that we minted out or airdropped.
I've honestly don't even remember what. Where are we? Which ones I got? I saw 2 mounts, but I've forgotten which ones they were. I've been in the game a few times. I've been in there hiding and sneaking and having a look around, and I like the concept of it, and that's bringing a 2D platform out. You guys plan on being some kind of a Web 3.0 platform, don't you, about doing joint AMAs, for example, where you've got a stage and people can join from different areas and actually be there physically listening to these AMAs and stuff like that, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. Some people have kind of thought, like, described it as like a Discord 2.0 to some extent, with maybe even more integrations. But yeah, that's that's kind of one, I guess, aspect we see ourselves going into. But I mean, it literally could be anything from online shopping, trading NFTs, using DeFi protocols, all of that type of stuff are things that we want to get integrated into the platform. It's just gonna be a matter of time and kind of phased rollouts of different products and utilities we can offer.
And then since post mint, I mean, it was a successful mint. You guys minted out. Did any eggs hit the main, or was it all whitelisted out?
I think there was actually something like 100 maybe made it to the main. We were really hesitant to oversubscribe there's a whole. We could get into another hour-long talk about different metas and whitelisting and whitelisting an entire supply and so on and so forth. But at the time, it was kind of deemed our best bet to whitelist the whole mint pretty much, between our OGs and then our kind of our regular whitelist, just so that we avoided botting as much as possible. And there's a lot of pros and cons to that. So we ended up not oversubscribing by too much though, because we didn't want to have a lot of aggrieved parties amongst our minters. And so because we did that, inevitably there are people who ended up not minting their whitelist, and we ended up with like 100 left over.
Yeah, it's a very funny call, and like you said, you could spend hours talking about it. And I like some of the spaces I've listened to from you guys. You actually talk on some of these subjects. I'm anti whitelist and oversale. I don't like it. So I got a whitelist on, who was it? Botborgs, I believe, and it was 4 or 6 hours for the whitelist, and I didn't set my alarm for 4 a.m. because it's a fucking horrible time to wake up to do a mint. I thought, no dramas, I've got a whitelist, I'll set my time for something reasonable and get up at 6 or 7, and it sold out on whitelist. And I'm like, well, what's the fucking point of having a whitelist? And I talked about the game, followed the game, and had that, and that just instantly, to me, bang, shit canned. I deleted the Discord, left it, and I stopped following the project. So I definitely see why people would be annoyed, and that is the meta. It's a horrible meta, but projects are trying to battle getting interest into the projects, partnered up, utility through other games and projects, and it's so what's the fix? What do we do? What is the long-term fix to the whitelist meta? At least give us some kind of a, what do you guys talk about? Because you've got so many NFT projects, right? So you must have this conversation a fair chunk.
Yeah, I mean, we do have a lot of we're I think right now we have, how many partners do we have announced? We have about 92 announced partners.
Yep.
Some of those integrations are still rolling out, and we have probably 20 to 30 in our artist queue to make their avatars. But yeah, this conversation is one I have quite a lot, actually, and I just put out a tweet about kind of different metas the other day, just because it was something I feel like is a lot of kind of heated debate around, what the solution is, and I think it's just the market is exploiting like the current meta that we're in. So we had an issue with bots, and in order to counteract that, we moved to whitelist meta, where people were saying, all right, I'm just going to whitelist the whole supply. That way, at the very least, I know that real humans or some level of kind of obstacles need to be overcome to get the mint. And then we kind of moved from whitelist only mints to like tiered whitelist mints, where you have, you can kind of reward holders based off of how much they do for you, and then give them different tiers of the mints. And that was kind of what I've seen a lot recently. And now I'm not really sure personally what's going to come next, because I think one idea I put out was like phased mints. I think Desolates did this really well, where they minted out over a couple months, and they were able to reward early holders at an earlier mint price to almost be kind of like the beta testers of their community, of their product. And maybe theirs is a bit unique because there's so much emphasis on kind of building within their ecosystem. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting way to do it, and you're able to control the different mints that you have, and you're not dependent on this one moment going perfectly. Like right now, it's kind of like if your mint fails and you're minting out a 5K supply, that mint day, if it goes wrong, you're kind of screwed. Like CryptoStraps just had this issue where they had a botched mint, and it was really hard for them to sell out afterwards. They were kind of walking a fine line, and I've seen a couple other projects, once they lose that momentum on mint day, there's no coming back from it. So I think there's probably a lot of discussion to be had about it, but phased mint seems like an interesting idea to me at the moment.
It's funny though, isn't it? Ultimately, what people want is bums in seats. That's the solution to it. Is actually getting people, not bots. And because it's so reliant on being crypto and it's money, and people can make flips and hold on to it and blah blah blah, is that's the solution, I guess, is getting more people into the space and actually getting a utility that makes those people want to find your project.
Yeah, no, absolutely. In some instances, even doing the most to prevent a bot from getting in there is what makes a mint not sell out, because there's too much of an obstacle to getting the quote unquote money that these people want to get and get out quick with. So I think that's kind of phase mints can kind of solve that, because you get people to buy into the product that's already there already, and they know what they're kind of getting. Like Desolates, they had that, and it was like, wow, this is really cool, and then they just built on top of it. I think you're absolutely right.
So we've seen the MVP launch. You've got the eggs. Obviously, they're going to be grown, looked after, and follow you around. And you're going to be leveling up and doing quest and stuff in game. Is it just in the MVP, or you're doing a lot of Discord challenges and stuff as well, which is getting out in the community, retweeting, all those kinds of things?
Yeah, so we're if you were kind of, I think you were probably in our Discord early on when we were doing different faction quests and things like that, and we were really trying to focus on social engagement. So that's kind of where we're at as well right now. We're trying to incorporate the MVP as much as possible with that, but admittedly at the moment, there's obviously limitations with how social you can be. One of the things that we're kind of prioritizing in development, and keep in mind I'm not a developer, so. I can't get into like nitty gritty of some of the stuff, but one of the things we're prioritizing is getting voice chat up, kind of starting with private rooms, and from there working towards proximity chat, so that there's more kind of social interactions possible outside of just the chat. Upgrade, quality of life updates in the chat that we currently have in the MVP, and we'll be working towards that kind of social gamification as we get further down the line and roll out more updates. But yeah, so short answer, I guess, to not dance around the point is, yeah, we're emphasizing kind of social interactions, and we have Twitter Spaces every week. Eventually we want to move those into the MVP. Just focus on building community, and not just our community, but like our community, which is communities of communities.
You cut out just at the end there. I'm just linking a few pictures in Discord in the live chat. People can see on YouTube. People can see it in the capture as well. I'm just having a bit of a run around. So this is the thing. If you've got 90 partners, 90 projects, what is the utility at the moment for Sovana holding an egg, holding an NFT? What's the MVP is, or is it just because it's still in production, it's still being built? There's no absolute maximum at the moment. It's just that social gamification.
Yeah. So it's definitely not at the maximum at all. I would say it's something that it's being rolled out little by little. I mean, the first kind of, I guess, utility in particular is probably pretty strong for smaller communities, and it's just that kind of ability to become, this NFT project, and to see it kind of visually manifested in in a metaverse. And I think that's in particular for Sovana, one of our strengths is, we try to bring on a lot of smaller communities as well. Ones that don't have crazy devs building out crazy things. We just want there to be a place that they can come and be them, quote unquote, themselves in this metaverse. As far as holding eggs, what the kind of the utility is right now, you can stake your eggs, or staking's live, and you can stake them to earn essence. The essence is there's 3 types of essence. The Sovana Guardian, Sovana Oracle, and Sovana Degen essence, which I think we're rolling out our first crafting this week, I believe. I think Thug just put out an announcement today.
I haven't seen that, but the staking, I've linked the that's through Cyberfrogs, yeah.
Yeah, and they were an early kind of partner of ours, very early on. They kind of have their own comeback story, which is really inspiring for us, and I think inspiring for the ecosystem, where they kind of came back from a rug. If anybody was around in the fall, they were pretty big. I feel like they were on their way to becoming a pretty notable project, and then they kind of had the rug pulled out from underneath them. But I think tomorrow we're meeting with them to kind of get our own more branded page, because some people get thrown off by doing Sovana staking on Cyberfrogs. But
that's you're not giving the NFT, are you? It's non-escrow.
Yeah, it's non-escrow, so it stays in your wallet. We had 1 or 2 people, I think, who sold it while they were staking, and if you sell it, you can't harvest your essence. So anybody here, if they're staking and they decide to sell their egg, please harvest your essence first, or maybe just don't sell your egg, whatever.
and you get that extra 15% for having a rare. I've got that on my screen at the moment, so you can see there's nothing to it. It's not a hardcore stake or anything like that, but you can see your SOVG. And I've got Sovo storing up as well. So you're talking, that's going to be some kind of utility and crafting and that kind of stuff. So talk a little bit more. I know you're just about to get into it.
Yeah. So our Genesis collection of I think, let me see, I have the announcement here. 1,321 NFTs ranging from mounts, pets, emojis, and eventually furniture, once we kind of have more real estate. But yeah, the idea is just that anything you can use in game, all these different kind of features. At the moment, most of them are cosmetic only, but these things will be craftable using our essence. And then depending on the different projects that we collaborate with to bring these to life, you may need to use some of their token. So I think one of our early projects that we're partnering with is New Bat City. And so for that craft, you'll also need Guano, which is their token, because we're just trying to make sure that we're providing driving value back to the different communities that are populating the ecosystem. And so those, you've seen the airdropped mounts. Those are what things we've airdropped, but in the future there'll be opportunities to kind of craft your own. Some of those will have different utility, so different kind of attributes that may be usable in game later on. The one obvious one is the mounts that will have their own kind of Grand Prix mini game. It's not like the focal point of our project. It actually wasn't even initially on our roadmap, but as we rolled out the mounts and we were kind of looking at community engagement, we realized that we wanted to provide some proof of concept for what's possible on the platform by way of different mini games. And so that should be coming out. I don't have a date for it, and I don't want to get Thug and Retry in trouble, so I'm gonna avoid saying dates. But that'll be coming out, and maybe within the next month or two. I think that's a big enough range I can give. And then there'll be some other opportunities for things out, and then things like the emotes and whatnot. Those are just going to be more cosmetic, fun things for you to use around the platform. Yeah, I think that's about what I can say.
So you guys are also building a poker game. You're in your own in-game poker. How's that going to work? Is that going to be on chain? Is that going to be randomized? Or talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I think we're that one. I unfortunately don't have as much of the technical know-how on that one, but that's going to be integrated, I think, pretty soon. And it's just going to be kind of like a interface, and you'll be able to. I think wagers do. I think like we're saying, you can do like cash games, or you can. Let's see if I have.
Because that one's actually pretty big. That's going to give us some kind of in-game utility, right? You're going to be able to. Barn dog.
Yeah.
I don't have an NFT, partner NFT, but I would be able to go in and sit at a table and play poker with people, and potentially once your chat comes in, actually start talking to them.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. I think poker is one of the things we've been prioritizing because it really is the perfect proof of concept for like social gaming, in a sense, in like a weird way. Because it's like you said, you sit down, you're playing a game, and you're talking with the people at the table. And yeah, so that's one we're pretty excited about, and we've been prioritizing to get ready to go. But we'll have, talking to different projects about arcade games and other kinds of fun styles of games that we can integrate. But yeah, so the I don't know if it's going to be on chain or what the exact the kind of details for that poker game will be though. That'll be probably, I'm guessing, in the next AMA coming up on Monday. Thug may have a bit more finalized details out for us, so maybe we can get him on here again to talk details on some of the technical stuff.
Yeah, I apologise for that. It is probably more of a technical question. Speaking with other, I've spoken with a couple of other online games that are going to be poker and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know anything on chain at the moment that's completely randomised for poker. So maybe it's just a platform for an existing game that's just being brought into the web, into the Sovana MVP.
Yeah, and I should say, actually, I'm pretty sure, and I don't know I know we're partnered with High Roller Hippo Casino and I believe Parlay. So I don't know to what extent it's integrating their own kind of platform or their own kind of gaming utility. But I know that they're definitely part of that conversation. So there may be some I guess synergy with their platforms there.
Yeah, I did see the Parlay. I listened to the Parlay one, so that was cool. Yeah, dude. So what, as Saigo, I see you're managing Twitter and stuff as well. You're one of the social media managers, are you?
Oh no. I actually try to stay away from. I'm on Twitter just in the DMs. My I guess my formal role is head of partnerships and integration. So I'm doing calls, 4 to 8 partners a day, just kind of getting a feel for different projects coming up, trying to find where there's synergy between our projects and vetting the projects. We're not trying to be kind of gatekeepers of the metaverse. We really want to be inclusive, but at the same time, we have limited resources, and so for projects that are, maybe fading or don't have the resilience necessary, we're trying to avoid prioritizing projects like that and really prioritizing the builders and the people who have a lot of energy and are really trying to make this space better and
trying less to get the NFT projects that need you to stop them from being completely rugged. So 90 to 95% of NFT projects are going to fail. Take away on that. Tell me any different. What do you think on this?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, especially if you look at the sheer volume, you're counting for the ones that launch and disappear and all the ones that rugged. I mean, I'd say, yeah, absolutely. I think there's projects can do what they can maybe do things to change that. I guess the one quibble I would have would be, what do we define as failure versus success? Is it just them outlasting and being around, even if their NFTs are maybe hold less value? Because I mean, maybe from a community standpoint, that is somewhat of a success, just kind of outlasting. But I guess on our end for Sovana, I mean, the idea is to be the underlying place that captures whatever value does outlast and provides a platform. As projects, if projects rug or disappear on us, we'll remove them from the platform and we'll kind of move on. But we want to be a place that we kind of see all that play out.
Yeah, I like your response there. What do we define as success in the system? So if someone's paid 1 or 2 Solana, $100, $200, they've had some fun, they've talked to the community, they've been involved for hours of time. That's what gaming is, isn't it? Like you might play World of Warcraft for 12 months and there's $150, $180. What have you got at the end of that? You've got fuck all. So I guess I like one of the things that Sovana's always impressed me with is that you guys are doing mental health spaces and trying to be guardians in a way. Well, not everyone's a guardian. I guess you've got your degens as well. But it's a community that's interesting. You've got the 3 flavors of eggs. You've got those 3 things. I definitely want to, like, where I'm at now. I bought my 2. I minted my 2. But what's next is, I guess, the curious part for me. Like, what do you guys do next to show people, well, this is the benefit of joining these projects together. So you've got 100, near on 100 proposed partners, but I guess the poker would be, that would be the next platform part of it.
Yeah. So there's kind of I'd say what's next is obviously seeing the social possibilities or the opportunities that exist within the platform to be seen and to be heard for projects and communities. So I mean that's with poker to be on the platform where someone can maybe they're going to play poker and then as they're walking back to the main building they pass by an arcade building. There's outside of just this main city there's 3 other cities for each faction that's going to be 6 times bigger. So I mean this is really just kind of the tip of the iceberg in terms of what we want to be on here, the kind of ecosystems that might be able to develop, because like I said, it's really whatever communities we bring on, how they're able to build on top of this and build community is what'll, I think, drive a lot of value. And I was actually talking to I think it was Cyberfrog. I was doing a podcast with on over this weekend, and they asked about our real estate because we'll be having a land sale eventually, where you'll be able to purchase land in Sovana, and kind of set up shop, have a home there, be able to kind of go in and out of every day. And they asked the question about kind of what derives value for land in the metaverse, because theoretically it's infinite, but I think from our standpoint, what drives value is the economic kind of activity that is built upon these different kind of hubs. If you look at like New York City or these major cities around the world, obviously the geographic location played a part in how they got there, but the reason the land there is so expensive is because of how close it is to all this economic activity and this kind of development that's been built on top of it. And so from that standpoint, that's what we're trying to do with Sovana, is build this kind of network effect of all of these different communities that can collaborate with each other, grow their own communities off of each other's communities, and kind of see where they go from there. There's a lot of growth potential, I think, from this type of platform.
We've got quite a few of our regular Grape people. We've got some faces in here. Have we got any questions for Saigo at all? Gods, Dynite, Deebs, Cry, anyone that's there? It's an interesting project, definitely interesting, and you guys are one of the first kind of metaverses to be really out there and well supported by others. So anything from the crowd at all?
I was hearing questions earlier for Cries, and I will admit again I'm not that technically savvy, so I felt I feel very much like the smallest brain in the room, so I apologize if I'm unable to answer some of the harder questions.
I find if you grow a beard, that helps because then it doesn't matter. You know, it just puts off for the fact that I don't have a big brain.
I guess I need to have my video on because I do have a beard. It's just not very big. But yeah.
No, Saigo, you've done well. You've done well as the media representative today. And it's good, you know, like it's nice to meet these extra people. There's more than just one or two people running projects. So, I mean, the NFT price is held up, so that means obviously the community's happy. I liked the CyberFrogs staking. I didn't know anything about CyberFrogs, so I didn't know there was a rug or they've had trouble before.
Yeah.
The non-escrow staking, that's important because I wouldn't have staked if I was to have to give my NFT to them because I didn't know who they were. So that was good. And then you're saying soon is going to be some form of minting, would be in the next month or something, 2 to 4 weeks, did you say?
We're gonna have crafting available. So the first loot boxes kind of are, and not don't think of loot boxes in the same way.
Oh, loot boxes. That's a trigger word. That's a trigger word.
I realized as soon as I said it that I regretted that. No, the idea is just this first Genesis collection. You won't know what you get, but it's not like we're creating necessarily this entire complex RuneScape whatever ecosystem on top of it. It's just more so this kind of fun proof of concept for this crafting capability. So you'll be using the essence. I think you have to use equal parts of each essence to craft our first our first in-game NFT. Using the term crafting, I guess, instead of minting. And then in the future, we want people to have like mint parties in Sovana too. I mean, if you could set up a candy machine in here and have people come in and kind of watch NFTs come out and whatnot, like I think it's another really fun utility that we're working towards.
Yeah, I like the concept of that. I wonder, could that be a way of getting rid of bots potentially?
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I'm sure there's a lot of possibility there in terms of the extra steps that you need to take as a. But I admittedly, again, I'd said admittedly far too many times on this show. But I don't know what the technicalities would be for that.
No, just like if you've got the mint is only in game, then you've got to physically log in, don't you? You've actually got to log in. You've got to select a name, and you can't do that with thousands of bots.
Yeah. The fine, I guess, the fine line to walk for all these things is the getting enough people to getting someone to feel comfortable minting only in game. Like we need to probably prove that we have quite a massive user base. Otherwise, people would probably fear an inability to mint out or sell out their mint. But yeah, I mean, I would hope so in the future that we'd be able to be moving towards that.
I guess you touched on one there, Saigo. The user base at the moment is quite sparse, isn't it? Even though you've got 100 projects, you're not seeing dirty, great big disco parties. Disco. It's just not really happening in the game that much, is it?
Yeah. So I mean, right now, because I mean, like we said, there's not much to do outside of when we kind of coordinate events, and so you can see it come to life. We've had some projects that they do scavenger hunts in their day to day, and so they've talked to us like, hey, can we get little Easter eggs put in so we can do scavenger hunts with our community or things like that, and so that does drive some use to the platform. We also sometimes get on here and do little giveaways during our Twitter Spaces and whatnot to kind of just show that there's a lot of opportunity here, but until the kind of social user interface is improved, there's gonna be less demand, I think, to be on the platform, and that's why we're targeting this voice chat and updates in kind of the in-game chat so that we can help kind of push those through.
Yeah, hopefully the boys have got some solutions smarter than me, of course, to have that Web 3.0. Like Twitter and Discord are usable, but they're not a great platform, aren't they? They're not as immersive. But I like cameras. I like being able to see the devs and talk to them, see those reactions when you ask them a question. It's more than just a talking head. Is the aim.
Yeah, and I'll next time I get on here, I'll be on video. I'm just not. I get on videos with like all of our partners. I just since this is being recorded, I was like, I don't know if I'm mentally prepared for that formal of a doxing. But I feel you on that. It's really refreshing for trying to talk to projects that want to come on who are building kind of in broad daylight. And
you're sitting in your jocks, aren't you? You're sitting there in your jocks, and you're like, oh, I can't be bothered putting any shorts on.
No, I'm in a tank top actually, but I live in Hawaii, so it's a bit warmer. over here. But yeah, no, I some partners come onto Discord and they turn their video on, and I didn't realize it video meeting. I have to like rush to get a shirt or rush to get something to put on because I'm I'm lounging maybe a bit more. But yeah, no. So that's actually one point I didn't really kind of mention early on. That is one of the impetuses or kind of the inspiration for this platform is the idea that as it is right now. You mentioned Discord. Discord's a great tool for community building, but it's very siloed. It's kind of created this tendency for everyone to build behind gated discords and kind of in the shadows of the ecosystem, and that's kind of part of what we want to build is this give people the opportunity to explore and discover projects that you might not have otherwise been able to see, and it kind of gives, I think, that a bit more transparency to the space is kind of what we're hoping for.
Yeah, dude. Well, I might call it there, unless you've got any closing thoughts on something we've not touched or you'd like to get off.
No, that was kind of what I was hoping to use as my closing thought, and it just segued well. So I just say thank you so much for having us on here, and doing these each week, and building for this ecosystem and trying to create kind of a place for all these projects to be seen and be heard.
Yeah, we want to do more at Grape. Obviously, I'm working pretty hard in the space. I love it. We've got a lot of big brains out there building things for us smaller brains to have a bit of fun. And I'm looking forward to seeing some kind of utility in game. It's nothing hardcore. It's 2D graphics. It's got to start somewhere, though, doesn't it? And I like the staking. It's simple. It's clean. On escrow was good. And the guys are super active in the space, so it's important. And I guess for people having a look, don't think that we're I'm saying go out and buy it, but definitely keep your eyes on them. Like I'm going to be bringing in projects every single week here at Grape, 3 different projects, and down the track we'll get Retri or Thug or both. Saigo, it doesn't matter. We might have some kind of a party. We might have a game of poker while we're having a chat next time. So there's those kinds of things. Web 3.0 is here. And these are one of the little ways of having a look at it. I guess this is Web 2.5 at the moment, but we're getting there. Definitely getting the games, the utilities, and seeing, you'll be able to tip in a local native coin, maybe, for example, have a drink or have a game of poker and play for Grape. And you guys I know they've talked about it before, having their own liquidity pools, or having access to an AMM, so you could take Grape, change it out for the game token of the day and play with that token. So those are important little additions and things that we look forward to seeing.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say if you want to learn more, also at any point in time, our AMA, we have weekly AMAs every Monday. So Thug and Retri are always kind of dishing out probably more than they should in those. So if you're kind of
and they're all recorded too, which is super important, having that flow on. So if you are interested in looking up, you can go back to previous weeks, have a listen, have a look, and just grow with the space and grow with the team. But Perth boys, unfortunately, I can't get across to Perth, so I'd love to get across. But WA is the bane of Australia. You can't get in. They lock it down pretty hardcore.
Yeah, I'm sure they're looking forward to it.
All right, dude. We'll call it there. Thanks for coming in. Thank you for your time. Be safe. Work hard.
Sounds good. Talk to you later.
Thanks,
Bye.
dude. So that's going to be a wrap for the week. Unless I've got any questions from the crowd, I'm happy to answer anything. Happy to talk about any game that I may know or may have a part in. But next week we've got Step N coming in. We've got Chain Myth coming in, and who was my number 3? I normally remember these things off the top of my head, but the old dog, I've had a bit of a busy morning. Shade. So they finally finished their mint. I've just heard this morning they cut their mint down, 777. That's finished. I think that's just been launched on Magic Eden. I had someone message me while this show was on. So hopefully they're going to have multiplayer next week, and we're going to do some laps here. So Chain Myth are looking as a first-person shooter with like a Indian theme. Chain Myth are going to they've already got alpha play out, but we're potentially going to be playing some here as well. So definitely keen to push into 3.0. Obviously, Step N have already got an active game, 30,000 daily users, and go to IEO tomorrow. So it's a big week to get them in next week, see how the role effect of that. Obviously, I do AMAs with them every week. I do live events here at Grape, live and Step. But it's about these games. Expect to see some of these games back. and see how they build out. It might not be in 4 weeks, but I'm trying to get these people here more often, every 4 to 6 weeks, 4 to 8 weeks, and potentially get some gameplay, get some prizes out on the days as well. And we're kind of building up the gaming council and getting that up. So I really appreciate everyone coming in and asking questions. God's love, even asking direct questions is awesome. So thank you very much, everyone, and we'll see you all next week. Thank you, Mother,
Thanks,
for the
Mondo.
rabbits.
Hey, thanks, Dog. Appreciate it.
Cheers,
Thanks,
God's love.
Mondo.
Thanks, Cry. Thanks for coming in, Cry.